it's pretty funny when you think about it. Like almost in every corner, in every environment on planet Earth, there's going to be something there that's destroying our testosterone. Like we have to actually look and search and try and investigate and find the things that actually support our testosterone levels. And for a guy, and you know this, our testosterone is pretty much what makes guys guys. It gives us our sex drive. It allows us to have chiseled and sculpted, wonderful physiques. It gives us that courage to walk up to some girl that we don't know and just be prepared for shutdown, whatever. Testosterone gives us our masculine, manly, assertive qualities. And it's just funny, like in every category, something's trying to eat it up in me, trying to tank it. I mean, just look, think about it. If we don't sleep enough, that's going to tank our testosterone levels. If we don't eat enough, that's going to tank our testosterone levels. If we're too stressed, that's going to tank our testosterone levels. If we got too much estrogen in our body, there goes our testosterone. If we exercise too much, there goes our testosterone. Like literally, there's all types of things that destroy our testosterone. So when guys do finally come across some natural supplements that actually help his body manage, use, protect, and fortify the testosterone that is in his body, that don't make his balls shrivel up, that has got to be spread. That news has got to be spread on every corner of planet Earth. Anyway, so there's 3 supplements every guy should know about: Shilajit Resin, Pine Pollen, and Tongkat Ali. Yeah, there's more, but like these 3 definitely across the board help many, many guys out. So without further ado, let's talk about it. Shilajit, hands down, is my #1 go-to natural supplement to help a guy feel more manly. Now, across the board, most guys can anticipate a testosterone boost between 20 and 30%. And that may not sound like a lot, but if you suddenly have 30% more free testosterone floating around in your body, you feel that. You're going to feel great, and your libido is going to be skyrocketing, which is what most guys want. Anyway, so aside from all the other benefits that come with testosterone, Shilajit offers some interesting caveats. Caveat #1 is typically when testosterone levels rise quickly, our luteinizing and follicle stimulating hormone plummet. This is important for you to realize because when these 2 hormones get suppressed, we don't make any testosterone. This makes us dependent, reliant upon whatever exogenous testosterone source we were using. This spiking testosterone kills these hormones. Now, the interesting thing is when you take Shilajit Resin, you get that up to 30% increase in your testosterone levels, but your follicle stimulating and luteinizing hormones remain the same. This is powerful. This means that your body likes what Shilajit is doing to it, and there's some like new energetic pathways being opened up where your body is acclimating so that it can produce itself and maintain itself the new testosterone levels that you're experiencing. This is pretty powerful, and this is why Shilajit, like #1, if you're a guy, you got low libido, low testosterone, let's start opening up some of those pathways. Let's heal them a little bit if we can with some Shilajit and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's #1. #2, Shilajit is just this interesting complex made by the earth itself, black resin that has the capability of supporting many expressions of genes inside of our body. And what I want to focus on is the genes responsible for mechanotransduction. Now let me break that word down. So like the 2 obvious reasons why any guy wants testosterone is for a great sex life, and he wants a chiseled body. He wants to look manly, muscular. Now, the obvious thing that we got to do to get muscles is to work out, use them. You got to use them to build them. Now, that's like an obvious statement that most of us don't really think about, but that has everything to do with mechanotransduction. So there's an active physiological process going on inside of our body anytime we're at the gym, anytime we're doing physical activity, where I want to pick up a dumbbell and I curl it, and my bicep makes a motion. That motion, hopefully, will get converted chemically into signals that activate growth, development, change, building, the increase in strength. All that has to happen, and there's genes inside of my extracellular matrix, the stuff that I'm made out of, that facilitate that change. You know, if you go work out, you expect your body to change accordingly. If it doesn't change, then there is a breakdown in those genes. They're not being activated. Hope I didn't lose you with that. Anyway, it's easier than it sounds, I suppose. Anyway, so Shilajit helps activate the extracellular genes inside of our body that support our muscular development, which is, again, it's huge. Like, why does any guy want testosterone? Because he wants muscles and he wants a libido. Shilajit helps us with both areas. On top, it also gives us more ATP so that we can experience better workouts in the gym. Anyway, so I mean, it's just like a win-win-win-win-win with Shilajit. Okay, so moving right along to Tongkat Ali. It is number 2 on my list, but really it's number 1 in terms of increasing our total and free testosterone levels. So like for most guys who want like to feel an abrupt surge of testosterone or an abrupt surge in their libido, maybe it's time is an issue. Anyway, so within a month, most guys can experience an increase between 30 and 40% of their total and free testosterone coursing throughout their veins. And of course, you get to experience any of the benefits associated with that. Greater sex performance, greater sex drive. Obviously, your muscles are going to increase. You're going to have more sculpting going on in your body. You're going to burn fat while you sleep. And I mean, need I say more? Anyway, so you get all of those benefits. And the thing is with Tongkat Ali, again, you don't really have to worry about your nuts shrinking, your walnut-sized nuts turning into pistachios. Like it's not an issue, it's not a concern. All the research seems to be pointing to that Tongkat Ali doesn't actually help our body manufacture more testosterone. Rather, it frees up the testosterone that's already coursing through our body that we're already making. Now, what this means is that there's like this sex hormone binding globulin that attaches to testosterone and doesn't allow it to be used for building muscle the way we want, or being absurdly attracted to our wife or girlfriend. You know, anyway, so that's how it kind of works. So we don't really need to worry about our balls shrinking. Now, moving right along to last on the list, but certainly not least, it's pine pollen. Now, pine pollen is interesting. To date, as I'm making this video, there isn't actually a study that shows we took X amount of guys, we gave them pine pollen, whether it's in the powder or the tincture form, for X amount of time, and their testosterone did whatever. That study doesn't really exist. So we have to really kind of go on anecdotal evidence, and like, don't roll your eyes, because like it's really pretty powerful. And we also know other things that's in pine pollen that's also pretty cool that contribute to the anecdotal effects that most guys are touting. So basically, pine pollen is popular because it actually has testosterone in it. It's like a plant that has testosterone in it. That's pretty cool. And I mean, just intuitively you think if it's got testosterone in it, especially if I'm taking the tinctured extract form, which has more testosterone in it, which has a better deliverability system built right into it, so I can just absorb it sublingually, then definitely I'm going to experience the effects of that testosterone. Now, anecdotally, we can say, yeah, that really is true. You get on some pine pollen tincture, you're definitely going to be feeling more frisky. Anyway, but we can't really speak on that scientifically because the studies just aren't there. However, anecdotally, most guys say, you know what, I definitely feel an increase in my libido, my sex drive, my recovery, anything that we would really associate with testosterone we feel. Now, there's a few caveats I'm going to throw in here. Number one, we also know that pine pollen contains beta-sitosterol, which has a similar action like Tongkat Ali on sex hormone binding globulin, which means whatever testosterone is in our body, we're going to be able to use it better because beta-sitosterol, which is in pine pollen, blocks or inhibits, slows down, mitigates that sex hormone binding globulin. Furthermore, pine pollen is one of the best source of brassinosteroids and anywhere. pine pollen and pollens in general. Brassinosteroids, have you ever heard of them? Most of us haven't, don't feel left out. Anyway, they're plant steroids basically. They help the plant grow. Well, in our body can also use them, and they have a similar nature like compared to like IGF-1 or insulin-like growth factor. Maybe you've heard of that one. It's another growth hormone, anabolic steroid. It helps us grow. And essentially, it helps increase our muscles' metabolism. Now, what that means for you and me is like after we go to the gym, our recovery is going to be better. Now, if you are a gym fanatic at all, or you know, it's the recovery time is when we can really experience the change and the growth and the increase in strength and texture, or the sculpting, the increased sculptedness of our musculature. It's in the recovery phase. And these brassinosteroids act like IGF-1 to increase that metabolism rate in the recovery phase. So when somebody's on pine pollen, we already know there's testosterone is in it, and that's some factor that we can only assume and guess what's going to happen. But we also know for certain that beta-sitosterol is going to be freeing up more testosterone, and we also know that individual is going to be exposed to brassinosteroids, a high amount of those brassinosteroids, and the recovery time for their gym is definitely going to be on steroids, and they are going to notice a big difference in how their body feels after a workout, and their body, the actual physical shape of their body, is going to be a testimony to those brassinosteroids. So anyway, that's it. Those are 3 powerful natural supplements that any guy can take to feel a quick boost in their sex drive and help their body be more chiseled and just feel more manly, be more assertive, more aggressive, more masculine, and that's not a bad thing. Anyway, we wish you all the success in the world, and cheers.